I think we have just entered what I'm calling the golden age of electric vehicles. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me explain with an example. I am a tech YouTuber. I review things like laptops, headphones, smartwatches, monitors, tablets, basically anything with electricity flowing through it. And the one thing that everyone has always gotten the most excited, the most hyped about, is smartphones. Smartphones also had this golden age. It was a period of time where everything coming out onto the market was new and exciting. There could easily be a discussion about when exactly that period of time was, but in my opinion, it was the years following the release of the first iPhone and then the many phones that came after it. The Palm Pre, the first Galaxy S devices, the HTC Dream, and so on and so forth. From the late 2000s to the mid-2010s, there was an explosion of interest in smartphones. Press releases of new products became these huge events. YouTubers started talking about the tech products on their channels, and each new device that came out was not only exciting, but different. And that's the key. Because the technology was continuously evolving in a big way year over year, we always had something new to look forward to. And that's what's happening right now in the EV space. I've seen Tesla compared to Apple a lot, and in some ways, the comparison does make sense. Tesla did to the EV sector the same thing that Apple did to the smartphone sector. Neither company was the first to bring their product to market, but they were the first to drum up enough interest and excitement from the mainstream to force the rest of the sector to innovate and compete. Now that legacy car manufacturers have seen that success from Tesla, they've been kind of scrambling over the past few years to jump in and grab a piece of that market share pie. As I'm sure you can appreciate, research and development of an entirely new vehicle with completely different propulsion technologies can take a while. And a few years ago, it was rough. But they've gotten over that initial R&D hurdle now, and there are a ton of very, very compelling electric vehicles coming to market. The best part is that nearly every single electric vehicle on the road today has its own unique gimmick or value proposition. You've got the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6 with their insane charging speeds and 800-volt architectures, the Rivian truck with its super cool gear tunnel and 11,000-pound towing capacity, the Mercedes EQS with the high-tech luxury interior and lowest drag coefficient of any car, Teslas with their autopilot and supercharger network. The list goes on and on and on. And you know what's so exciting about all this? It's only just the beginning. Just like what happened in the late 2000s and early 2010s with smartphones, there's a lot of room for growth and innovation. Battery technology will improve and provide more range, charging speeds and performance will increase, suspension technology will be tweaked to provide better ride comfort and handling, self-driving and other safety features will continue to become more and more readily available and will make cars safer. As advanced as these cars and their technologies are right now, we are still very early in the life cycle of the electric vehicle, and that is exciting. As you can expect, that excitement is generating sales. A lot of them. According to an article by Inside EVs, global sales of electric vehicles have increased by 60% this past March, and they've been steadily increasing year over year. But it's more than just the release of these exciting new EVs that's causing an uptick in sales. Gas prices have also skyrocketed over the past year. Here where I live in Canada, gas prices just went over $2 Canadian per liter. That's about $6 per gallon, and nobody wants to pay those prices for gas. When it costs so little to charge an EV at home by comparison, those cars start to look enticing, even if the initial cost is higher. But there's a problem, a big one. One that is threatening to reduce the sales of electric vehicles and stagnate their adoption, and I'll tell you all about it right after I thank the sponsor of this video, Lark. This is the Lark Pitcher Pureviz, a BPA-free advanced water pitcher with filtration and purification. It's got an innovative plant-based carbon-derived filter that removes harmful chemicals like lead, mercury, chlorine, pesticides, and more, but it also has their Pureviz technology that uses a UVC light to eradicate biocontaminants like bacteria. Water has never tasted so clean, and it stays clean too. The UVC light will activate every 6 hours to make sure that bacteria isn't able to grow. This pitcher holds 8 cups or 1.9 liters of water, and the filter lasts a super long time. Lark says it will replace more than 450 standard single-use plastic water bottles per filter. Now, that's great for the environment, but it'll also save you a lot of money over time. Lark has an app that you can pair with the pitcher for hydration tracking, and so that you'll know exactly when you need to replace your filter without any guessing. I've been using this thing for the past few weeks, and I definitely recommend it, especially in this Monaco blue color, although they have a pure white version on their website too. Pick up your Lark pitcher Pureviz via the link in the description below. So when I went to business school for my bachelor's degree, one of the first things we were taught in our macroeconomics class is the law of supply and demand. And that law is fairly simple. It states that if supply increases and the demand stays the same, the price of a product will go down. And that makes sense. It's the concept of scarcity. If there's a lot of a particular product around and it's not selling very well, manufacturers will have to drop the prices. The law also states that if supply decreases and the demand stays the same, the price will go up. If a product is scarce and the demand is still there, manufacturers are able to drive that price of their product up. So what do you suppose happens when not only does the supply decrease, but the demand also increases? Because that's what's going on right now in the EV industry. A lot of the supply decrease has to do with the ongoing chip shortage. Back in 2020, new vehicle sales plummeted rapidly because, there was a new pandemic on the rise and the market was very uncertain and volatile, and not many people wanted to drop a lot of money on a new car. Because of that, automakers cut their chip orders, and so a lot of factories ended up shifting their production lines to meet demands for other things. There were other factors too. People were getting sick, and so factories were short-staffed. But it's safe to say that when the demand ramped up again very quickly and very suddenly, there wasn't enough supply to meet it. Factories are now speeding up production again, but stuff like that takes time, so no one really knows when that shortage is gonna go away. And so here we are in mid-2022, where many new electric vehicles are actually scarce. And no, I don't mean it'll take you a few months to get the car you want. It could take years for certain cars. For example, if you want to build a new BMW i4 and you order it today, you won't get it until late 2023. Same thing with the Ioniq 5. I've seen several spreadsheets for different EVs that track order and delivery dates for new electric cars, and it's not looking good. No one wants to wait over a year to buy a new car. Marquez did a full video talking about the ridiculous wait times for EVs right now, and I'll link it below if you're interested, but I agree with him. As much as I love EVs, this is a huge problem right now. But the problem gets even worse. Remember that law of supply and demand? Well, because of the scarcity, some dealerships are doing what they're calling market price adjustments. Now, from what I've seen, this seems to be mostly constrained to the US, but essentially what they're doing is marking up the MSRP, the manufacturer's suggested retail price, to make more money, because they know that people will pay for it due to the scarcity of the vehicles right now. There's actually an Eevee dealer markup tracker that you can have a look at for yourself, where people will report that a dealership is adding extra to the price of the vehicle to make more money. And many dealerships are charging as much as $10,000 US extra on top of the price of the car. That's just insanity. I think the scarcity of EVs right now, in combination with the just ludicrous price adjustments from dealers, are going to hurt EV adoption rates over the next couple of years. I don't think adoption rates are going to decrease or anything. I mean, if trends are anything to go by, sales will continue to increase. But I think they'll be lower than what they could or even should be. Either way, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this whole thing. Let me know in a comment down below. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.